This is a planaria, and this particular one is about a little more than a centimeter in length. I just moved him to the center of the petri dish here, so he's kind of stretching out. And if you read the background information, you can learn a little bit more about the planaria. They're a flatworm. This is fresh water that they're in. They're in spring water. And they feed on, when they're in the wild, you would find them in creeks. They're going to feed on fish and worms and any kind of source of protein that they might find. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so you can see a little bit more of where he's kind of exploring to. These guys, as you can see, are sort of dark in color. They move their head end of their body a little bit side to side as they kind of squirm their way through the environment. And you're going to start off by filling in a hypothesis about how you predict the planaria is going to react to light, touch, and salt. And to give you just a little bit of information about them, they have little projections on either side of their head called auricles that they can use to detect chemicals. They have eye spots that can detect light and dark. They don't actually see images, but they can detect light and dark. And they're able to react to touch. They have what's oftentimes referred to as a ladder-like nervous system, and they have nerves that run the length of their body and nerves that run across their body. They're pretty sensitive to touch. And so you're going to be doing several things in this lab. You're going to be observing how they respond to several different types of stimuli. You're going to observe their anatomy, their movement, and you're going to see how they react when they're in the presence of food as well as a chemical. And the chemical in this case is just going to be salt. One thing that you're not going to see in this lab, but I will share with you that's an interesting thing about the planaria, they are able to reproduce by regeneration. In the wild, they will actually attach their head end to a rock or some other hard surface, and they will tear the tail end of their body away and actually split themselves into two. Years ago, I used to give these to my students, let them do this lab that you guys are going to do, and then they would actually each carry half of a planaria around with them for a 2-week period, and they would watch them regenerate in that 2-week time period. And a lot of times students would have even half of a planaria, and in the time that they had them, they would actually split themselves in two even further. I keep moving this guy because they tend to like the side of the container. So you're going to make your prediction, and then you're going to start watching a series of videos. And I'm going to put together some videos here. I'm going to put these all together on one spot, and you're just going to go through the videos in the order that you see them on the page and fill in the observations as I prompt you to on your data sheet in Kami.